Hi guys, welcome back, and today we're going to take our first step towards being able to strum wonderful rhythms on the guitar, okay? And the first step is learning how to use strumming patterns, okay? So now that we've got these two chords, and I'm sure you've been practicing E minor to A sus2 over and over again, so they're starting to sound really good now, hopefully. Now, what we're going to do today is learn the strumming pattern that we're going to put together with these chords, okay? And you're going to hear it will suddenly start sounding a bit like a song, okay? So it's really the two elements together that really makes the acoustic guitar come to life, okay, and really sing. So, a strumming pattern. Now, we're going to start by looking at it in terms of arrows on the screen. So here is a strumming pattern, okay? Now, before you see any red arrows, which you're going to see in a minute, we just need to understand what all these grey arrows and these numbers mean, okay? So first of all, you can see that some of them are down and up and down and up, and that's really your right hand movement, okay, on the guitar, okay? So you've got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and each one has a corresponding down or up. Okay, and all that means is that you need to have your right arm moving, not actually hitting the strings at this point, just moving along with that rhythm and that beat, okay? So if you look at the right hand, we're going like this as we count. We're going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, so you really need to be counting at this stage out loud, okay? And every time you say 1, 2, 3 or 4, you should be doing a downstroke. And every time you say and, you should be doing an upstroke, okay? So I'll do it again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, okay? So what I'm going to do, okay, and I know this sounds almost ridiculous, but I want you to practice this first because this is going to be the bedrock of everything. All strumming, your right arm must be moving first. Otherwise, it just will not sound rhythmical, okay? It's the number one mistake anyone who learns strumming makes first, not to get the arm moving, okay? So let me get a drum beat on. Now, I'm going to do an 8th note drumming pattern, which basically means that it's going to sound like this. Now, what you're hearing is a hi-hat, okay? This sound that goes tss, 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 that kind of high-pitched sound. That's your 8 notes in a bar. So that's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So when we say 8th note strumming pattern, we mean that in our bar of 4 beats that we learnt last time, we can actually fit 8 notes now because we're dividing it so each note is half as long. Okay? It's maths, unfortunately, but we can just do it practically now so it makes more sense. Okay, so get your right arm moving the same as me. So, like this, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and keep it going. 2, make sure you're counting with me. I don't want to look like a fool here. Please count along. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and just keep going round and round that. Okay, now let's stop that drumming for a second. Now, what happens once you've got that moving is you'll see something like this. So we can now see a red arrow has magically appeared on the first beat, so on the 1. Now, red arrows indicate we actually hit the strings. Okay, so we're going to do no chord at the moment, so don't worry about the chords. We're just going to hit the string now, all the strings, all 6 strings, when we see the red arrow on the 1. Okay, so if I get my drum beat going, what I'll do at the moment is just slow this down a bit so we really can keep up with it. So here's the beat. So if I count us in, get your arm moving, like this. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. We're going to hit the 1 like this. And 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. So keep doing it. 1 and 2 and 3. Don't stop, okay? Do not stop. I'm going to carry on talking, but I'm not going to stop the strumming, okay? Keep going. Now, at this point, we're going to add another red arrow in, like magic. Now, this red arrow is on the 2. 2 and 3. So now it's going to sound like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 2, and 3, and 4. And keep going. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3. Now, we're going to add a final red arrow, okay? And this final red arrow is on the 2 and, as you can see, okay? So that means now, after the 2, I'm going to do an upstroke where I hit the strings as well. So let's get back to what we were doing. So just that 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. Now we're going to add in the and. It sounds like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 4 and make sure the arm just keeps moving. And 4 and 1 and 2 and. I'm just going to stop there for a second, come back to that. Now, the mistake most people make when it comes to that and is that they rush it, okay? So they do something like this, 1 and 2 and, okay? So they force another stroke in there, okay? Now the whole point of getting your arm moving first is that nothing needs to change. That's the point. You're already strumming every single note that you can strum, but you're air strumming, right? Air guitaring, basically. So when it comes to hitting it, you don't need to do anything apart from just actually hit the strings, okay? And that's the secret to really fully understanding rhythm patterns, okay? Trusting in the fact that the right arm is already doing everything right, okay? So when I do this pattern again, 1 and 2 and, notice that actually, you know, if there was no sound, you wouldn't see any difference between what my right hand's doing. It stays exactly the same, right? Now the other little mistake people make is that after they've done that upstroke, once they've nailed it, they go like this and just stop until the end of the bar. Now that's very casual, very cavalier. Now I'm telling you, because strumming patterns are going to get a lot harder than this, keep the arm moving. So force yourself to go back down and keep going, okay? So, what we're going to do is just practice that for another minute. So I'm going to get my drum beat back on, okay? And then I want you just to go around it until you've got this together, and then we'll move on to something a little different, okay? 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. You don't have to count at this point, but if you can, it would be better. 1, 2 and. I also like it when students tap their foot to this. It means that they're really understanding the beat. And if you are going to tap your foot, it should just be doing 4, just like tap, 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 okay? That might feel pretty hard actually. Right, okay, there's your strumming pattern. So, that is what I want you guys to learn. Now, to make it a little bit more bearable and easier to learn, we're going to come back to the chord chart that we learned last time, where we learned E minor for 2 bars, A sus2 for 2 bars. And we're now going to apply that rhythm pattern over this, okay? So that is going to look like this, okay? We're going to go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and change to A sus. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and back to E minor. Okay? And A sus2. Make sense? Because we're doing 2 bars, so that's 2 strumming patterns per chord. I'll do it with the beat. Okay? 60 BPM. After 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and A sus2. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 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 3 and 4 and, sorry, stop there. Right, I'm just going to go up in speed a little bit, okay? I'm going to jump up to 80. I don't expect you guys to be playing along with me at this point. I just want to show you what it sounds like, a bit more up to speed. You can start to get the gist of it even more, okay? But this is what you're aiming for, around 80 or 90 BPM, okay? 80 ideally, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4. And so on. So there's your first strumming pattern. Spend time with this one, because if you understand how to do the strumming pattern at this stage, even though the strumming patterns get harder, really they never actually do, if you see what I mean, because it's always the same principle. Basically, as long as your arm's moving, you can hit any of those red arrows at any time, because you're already in time, you're in rhythm, everything's right already. So have some fun with that, guys, and I'll see you next time.